following is a WeTV sports production.
I'm Mark Knight.
I'm Steve Pronger. Catch all the Kingsville Kings hockey action live from the Kingsville Arena on WeTV.
That's right, Steve. Fridays and Sundays are fit for a king. The Kingsville Kings, exclusively on WeTV.
For Kingsville Kings hockey, we got you covered.
Hey, I know those two guys, Mark Knight, Steve Pronger. Welcome to Kingsville Arena, Steve. How you doing tonight?
Mark, it's a day of hockey for me. I was so glad to be able to sit on my couch, and I'm not afraid to say that. I watched Hockey Day in America, two great NHL games, one of them live from the University of Minnesota. It's a great, great hockey day, but that brings us here tonight, doesn't it?
It's Hockey Night in Kingsville. Mark Knight along with Steve Pronger, Kingsville Arena. We're welcoming the North York Renegades for the third game of a best-of-5 series. The Kingsville Kings are up 2-0 in this series. And, Steve, you had a chance to chat with the coaches of both teams. What are Steve's keys for tonight's game?
Well, really, when you concern yourself with the North York Renegades, speaking to Coach Ramsey before the game, he says really the North York Renegades just have to play smart and stay out of the box. They have to play 5-on-5 hockey all night tonight against the Kingsville Kings, or he feels they're going to get exploited. And at the other end of the rink, they have to play smart, get the puck up ice towards the Kingsville goalie, and really create any scoring opportunity they can to try to overcome the crush of the Kingsville Kings. Speaking of Coach Stolas, before the game as well, he has a little different spin on the game, being up 2-0. He says, quite frankly, Mark, they just have to play disciplined hockey and stay out of the box. They need to establish an early lead, believing that will really take any wind out of the sails that North York might have, and move their feet. Kingsville's got to come out skating, be aggressive, keep skating and skating to try to draw the North York Renegades into those penalties that they don't want to take.
Well, the North York Renegades have had some difficulty scoring. They've got one goal so far against the Kingsville Kings to their 21. So I think the Kingsville Kings have really have the edge in that particular department.
That's correct.
And staying out of the box is going to be key for both teams. We've seen these two teams, the last two games, lots of penalties, unnecessary, undisciplined situations, and you use the word, there's disciplined on the screen right there, the word discipline, and both teams need to find that word and add it to their vocabulary tonight.
Right, so we expect a good game out of both teams. Both teams have ample reason to win, Mark. Both teams have ample reason to create scoring opportunities, and really both goaltenders have to have a big game. You know, Gary Astalis and the Kingsville Kings want to wrap this up tonight and wait for their next opponent sometime later next week.
And that next opponent is still undetermined, but we're gonna find out how that goes later on tonight as the rest of the GMHL plays out to their playoff picture. We're going to be back for the opening face-off. You're watching WeTV Kingsville Kings Hockey.
Live and local, WeTV. March 7th through 10th, WeTV is proud to be your exclusive broadcaster of the 2016 OFSA Boys AAA Hockey Championship. This 4-day event comes to you live from the Vollmer Complex in LaSalle, Ontario, and will bring together the province's best high school hockey teams. For tournament information and game schedules, go to ofsa.on.ca. For all the end-to-end action and play-by-play, go to WeTV. We got you covered. From the opening tip-off to the final basket, the St. Clair College Sportsplex will host the best Canada has to offer in women's collegiate basketball. March 16th through March 19th, 8 teams will be putting their best on the floor to gain basketball supremacy at the CCAA level. Complete coverage of this action-packed event hosted by St. Clair College Saints Athletics can be watched exclusively on www.we-tv.ca. WeTV, bringing Windsor and Essex County to the world. It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
Tom is trying to justify buying a new car. That should do it.
Need a good reason? There's never been a better time to get yourself into the best-selling car in Canada for 17 years. Now during the Honda Model Clearout, get a $1,000 Civic bonus when you finance any new 2015 Civic model.
Live and local, WeTV.
Welcome back to Kingsville Arena, everybody. Kingsville Kings Hockey as they welcome the North York Renegades in for Game 3 of this particular playoff round, the first playoff round. I'm Mark Knight along with Steve Pronger. Glad to be here. We hope you are as well, watching from all around the world on WeTV. As the referees make their way for the handshakes in front of the benches, the players are getting ready. Let's go to our starting goaltenders. First, let's have a look at Mark Villeneuve for the starting goaltender for the North York Renegades, number 43. He's got a 1-0-0 record, a 0 goals against, and a save percentage of exactly 1,000, and a shutout. And that happened in the very first game of the play-in rounds for the North York Renegades. And who's in net for the Kingsville Kings? Our number 30, Jan Pesek. Jan Pesek has got pretty much the same, but a .955 goals against average. He's got 1 goal against. He's from Prague, Czech Republic. And here we go, opening face-off quickly. The Kingsville Kings get it with Lucas Havelka doing a quick dump down and an icing call right off the bat as Ludwig Niederbach couldn't quite get his stick on there.
Mark, referees tonight, we're used to seeing Mike McGinnis, been a regular here all season long. He's dropping the pucks and patrolling the line, and there he is. He'll be joined by referees J.P. St. Jules and Mike Maderbacher.
Maderbacher. We got a Niederbach and a Maderbacher on the ice tonight.
Our refereeing crew tonight.
And the North York Renegades quickly get a shot on net. Swiping at the puck, there's Havelka as he dumps it down. Niederbach in a foot race with Nikita Van. They're digging in the corner. The puck comes behind the net. A little bit of a clothesline as Zach Zolkanix gets upended, ends up in the end boards. Niederbach throwing his weight around. A little bit of pushing and shoving. And Joshua Hache is hacking back. Now we got a little bit more of it going on. Niederbach has got that bullet on his back, and everybody's after him, but a quick shot behind the net as Niederbach pushes his way through 2 Renegades. Going to be a spirited game tonight, note that's for sure. The last 2 games have been full of extracurricular, and I expect nothing less tonight as the Renegades quickly dump it down the ice. And we've got a quick line change for the Renegades as the Kingsville Kings break out of their zone. The puck is picked up at center ice and knocked back in as Colin Hofford now is moving around trying to keep the puck out. Quickly up to Ivan Hodjalov. He gets across the blue line, can't quite control the puck. He's got to dump it deep. It goes over in behind the net. Tried to stuff it in on the short side. That's Devin Dara. As the Renegades assemble. 3-on-1 out of the zone. Quick pass over to Jesse Georgopoulos, and a quick shot on Jan Pesek, and he makes the save.
Yeah, Mark, and I'm glad you mentioned his name. Jesse Georgopoulos from Toronto, Ontario, is our WeTV player to watch from the North York Renegades. 6'1", 180 pounds. He's played 4 games so far in this playoffs, got limited to 1 point, but he's a big addition to this big part of this North York team. Jesse Georgopoulos, we invite all our viewers to keep their eye on him tonight.
Quickly, the Renegades are setting up in front of the Kingsville zone, and here comes Matt Matty coming out of the zone. He's got Johnny Guerrero with him. Little soft pass on net. Johnny Guerrero now from behind the net. Loses it in his feet, but comes up with the puck. Working hard out to Matt Matty, and quickly Mark Villeneuve reaches down and grabs that puck.
In typical Kingsville Kings style, they come out strong, and you see goaltender Villeneuve on his knees, on his belly for that much, trying to freeze that puck. Really, North York, Mark, has to slow things down tonight in their own end if they're going to succeed.
Johnny Guerrero wins that face-off. He pulls it all the way out of the zone, back to Vosterik. Kings dump it back in. Daniel Burdov now receives the puck coming back his way. Quickly over to Vosterik. Little give and go back to Burdov as he looks up ice. Blake Nate is looking for the pass. A little bit in his feet, can't quite control it. It gets dumped back into center ice zone. Daniel Burdov over to Vosterik. Happy to play past the puck as it gets tipped away in the zone. Big offside for the Renegades, and we're going to have a face-off.
Good pressure there by the North York Renegades on Matt Matty at his own blue line, and that's one of the keys to the game for them. They have to push the puck up ice into the Kingsville zone and really be aggressive at the Kingsville blue line and create those scoring chances, Mark.
Well, it looks like Coach Ryan Ramsey for the Renegades has got a little bit of a new game plan for them. I like what I see in the Renegades thus far. Jonathan Yanofsky behind his own net. He passes it around. Daniel Burdov. Stretch pass. Quickly up to Marvin Simmons, who goes off his skate and down all the way into the Renegade zone. Yanofsky chases that puck himself. Blake Nada in there. He gets upended. There's Yanofsky in the corner. The Renegades come out with a little soft pass out of the zone. Dump it into the Kingsville zone. Jan Pesek goes down, steers it to the corner, out of harm's way. Goes through a stream of Renegade players, and all the way down, Mark Villeneuve has to corral it behind his own net. There's Marvin Simmons now, making a pest of himself. Ludwig Niederbach doing the same, shoving his player into the end boards. Gardeman misses his check, and Niederbach goes after him. Gardeman ends up with the puck. Gardeman makes it to the high slot, little backhand. Mark Villeneuve with the save, down on the blue ice, and he's got it, and Niederbach is still digging away. A little bit of chirping going on there between Niederbach and Mark Villeneuve.
Yeah, good shift there, Mark, by Lukas Avelka from Prague, Czechoslovakia. He's been a great defensive addition all year long. Solid hockey for Coach Gary Astalos, and he's our WeTV player to watch for the Kingsville Kings tonight.
C.J. Nicholson in to win that faceoff for the Kingsville Kings, and it gets dumped out of the zone. There's Zach McDonough, quick off the far boards. Big check on Devin Dara, and he throws the one right back saying thank you very much and welcome to Kingsville. Zach McDonough now waits for his players to clear. He dumps a high one into the corner as Justin Peary shovels it around the far side. It goes over McDonough's stick, and Colin Hofford has to hurry back. Jan Pesek wisely dumps it into the corner. Brett Bloor, the captain of the Renegades, with a quick shot on net, and it goes all the way down the ice, misses the net, and the Renegades are back in their own zone. Niederbach quickly on the puck with a big shot on Mark Villeneuve. He steers it to the corner. It comes back out, and we have a little bit of pushing and shoving behind the play. Ludwig Niederbach and Justin Peary are making another acquaintance tonight.
Well, one of the things that Coach Astolos told me before the game, his team has to be disciplined. They can't give North York any chances to find themselves on the board. We see Niederbach now going to the penalty box, serving the first penalty of this game, really kind of going against what Gary Astolos wanted to do. So, but a golden opportunity, Mark, for the North York Renegades here on the road.
To quickly get back in this game. Well, Niederbach has been the recipient of a lot of pushing and shoving, and he probably just pushed back a little bit too hard as the Renegades dump one quickly on a Jan Pesek. Johnny Guerrero tries to backhand that out of his zone. It goes up and got caught in some equipment there, and we got a face-off. Well, puck made it out of the zone.
Yeah, Johnny Guerrero, nice to see him back in the playoff line. A tremendous penalty killing. He's out there with Blake Nada. Gary Astalos has no issue killing penalties with these two guys.
Blake Nada tried to get out of the zone. Johnny Guerrero quickly picks it up. It's a one-on-one race into the Renegade zone. A little bit of whack. He curls, tries to put the little soft backhand in the short side, and is turned away. Quickly up to Brett Bluer. Brett Bluer in. Dumps it deep. Goes after it. Puck comes off the boards in a strange way right to Jan Pesek, and he's well aware and drops to make the save.
Yeah, Pesek making a great play there. He's got to slow things down now. We've seen him at time ice the puck, send it 200 feet when he has the space to do that. But really a wise play early in this game. It's an important game for Kingsville, Mark. Important game.
15:05 to go here in the first period. No score yet as Matt Matty shovels it out of the zone. Wisely as the Kingsville Kings set up. Matt Matty going in deep. He curls back. The Renegades bringing the puck out. He transfers the control over to Dan Leach, who acts the pest. Quick shot onto Jan Pesek by Patrick Silva, and Pesek is down to make the save.
Mark, you said you thought you saw a different look, a different style from North York, and really one of the things that Coach Ramsey told me before the game is they have to do whatever they can to create scoring chances. Expect to see a lot of shots from North York tonight.
Well, I'm surprised thus far because, yeah, they are really bringing the game, and that's really good to see. Spencer Horner behind the Kingsville zone. Puck squirts around to the far corner. He's checked off the puck by Jonathan Yanofsky. He gets up, still has the puck. He's in the corner. They're on the power play for another 46 seconds. Quick shot directed toward the net. That's blocked, and Yanofsky gets his hand on it, knocks it down, but it goes back to Spencer Horner. He shovels it across to Nikita Van, and a quick shot, and Jan Pesek steers that one up into the netting for another faceoff.
Especially early in the game, Mark, it's nice to see Coach Astalas using people from all lines to kill penalties. We saw first line, second. Now we saw Yanofsky and Simmons out there killing penalties. Great to do that to build up experience as you go in the playoffs.
Marvin Simmons had a great game the other night last night against the same North York Renegades. He had 2 goals, and Zach Zolkanix managed 4 goals in that 11-1 win. Here's Dan Leach now with a bit of a break into the Renegades zone, playing the pest on the far boards. As Matt Matty comes in, steals the puck, looking for a place to dump it. Quickly out, Dan Leach gets a stick on it, but not quite enough as he steers it towards Mark Villeneuve. The puck ends up behind the net. Renegades back the other way. Dan Leach is in there, putting himself in the right position, and out comes the puck as Niederbach steps out of the penalty box. A little shovel back into the zone as the big line for the Kingsville Kings comes on. Niederbach out, tried to get it to Zolkanix as he was streaking in through the slot, and that was blocked in front. Renegades now. Brett Bluer comes out of the zone, and we've got a penalty behind the play to the North York Renegades.
Referees aren't missing much tonight, Mark.
Slashing call on Mark Menard, number 8 for the North York Renegades, and the Kingsville Kings are going to get their first power play.
But when teams take stick penalties, all it means to me early in the game that teams are skating. People are skating, and the game has a good flow.
Matthias Gardeman in for the faceoff, gets tied up in the feet, and the Renegades come up with the puck and quickly get it out of the zone. Bosteric back in his own zone. Sets up behind the net as Zolkanix curls. Bosteric, quick pass up to Niederbach. Niederbach up the near boards. He's got some speed. Gets behind the net, looking to curl. Hits the brakes in the corner, up to Gardeman. Gardeman gets it back to Hofford. Hofford looking for a lane. Gets into the high slot. Back to Gardeman. Gardeman dropped back to the point. Over to Bosteric. Bosteric moved in close. Gardeman with a quick shot off the side of the net. Niederbach grabs that and throws it back out. Hofford once again. Great movement here by the Kingsville Kings to keep control of the puck and make the Renegades run around. As they get it up front again, Zolkanix can't quite release. All the way through the zone, and Gardeman back to Hofford. Quickly out to Niederbach as the net comes off. A little bit of extra pushing and shoving going there, and Niederbach wisely skates away from the fray.
Yeah, we look at a shot of Villeneuve there, taking his helmet off, going to have a little rest and a drink. He's got to be outstanding tonight if North York has a chance. But also on this power play, Mark, Kingsville needs to take their time. We see some nice pass movement there to the back, to the point, across ice to Gardeman with 2 big bodies, Niederbach and Zolkanix in front. It's tough for North York.
Here's Daniel Burdov. He's scrambling. He loses an edge, drops, but gets it over to Havelka, our player to watch today. Quickly into Hojelov. Hojelov gets a shot towards the net, hits a body and goes wide as the Renegades get an opportunity to dump it down the ice. One quick change as Connor Kearney comes on. And here come the Kingsville Kings once again. Ivan Hojlov up the far boards. He's got C.J. Nicholson with him. Hits the brakes, drops it back to the point. Lucas Havelka back to Hojlov. He dumps it in tight. He gets it back, gets tied up in the skates. As C.J. Nicholson gets the puck and dumps it in the net, he digs in hard, finds it sitting there loose, and comes up with it.
Mark, great opportunistic play there by C.J. Nicholson. He was patient in front of the net, waited for the rebound. There it was. He pulled it out between a player's skates, took his time again, waited for the goaltender to move first, then put it by Villeneuve there, giving Kingsville 1-0 lead on this power play. Good job there by C.J. Nicholson. Great patience around the net.
I think while Villeneuve was looking between the legs, C.J. Nicholson was just able to get there and eye the puck first and pull it back and quickly release that to beat Mark Villeneuve. 1-0 Kingsville.
Well, Mark, if I can say real quick, Coach Ramsey said before the game his team has to play 5-on-5. He dreaded playing against the Kingsville Kings power play.
Johnny Guerrero digging in on the near boards along with Matt Matty. A couple of Renegades in there as well. Spencer Horner comes up with the puck, dumps it back to the point. Brendan Sorrells is there to pick it up. Johnny Guerrero once again. He's checked off the puck by Spencer Horner. Gets it up to Matt Matty. Back to Brendan Sorrells. Quick shot on net, and Villeneuve can't quite control it. Johnny Guerrero pulls it back, dumps it back to Sorrells. Quick give and go back to Guerrero, and it's knocked off of his stick as he dumps it deep to Matt Matty. Matt Matty's checked off the puck. There's Blake Nada. Quickly over to Sorrells. Dumps it in, it gets steered to the corner. Lucas Havelka again, just wide of the net. It comes out the other side. As the Renegades wisely dump it down the zone, the icing is waved off. Kyle Borner now has to pick up speed to get around his player. That's Johnny Ariza pushing Borner off the puck. Brendan Sorrells now. He's being chased by Brett Bluer. Quickly passes it over, and here comes Dan Leach. Big number 22 across the line. He's got Marvin Simmons with him. He tries to shovel it back to the slot, and it's picked up. Here's Nicholson, our goal scorer. Quickly over to Dan Leach, and he can't quite control it. It gets away from him. Marvin Simmons. Little pass back to Dan Leach as Jonathan Yanofsky goes after it. Zach McDonough now. Quickly in off the side of the net. McDonough once again dumping it in the corner. Dan Leach is in there. He's being pushed off that by Nikita Van. Renegades dump it up the far boards. Kingsville Kings keeping the pressure on. Marvin Simmons hits the brakes, goes the other way. Quickly pass out front. Nobody's there, and it comes out of the zone.
Great move by Simmons behind the net there, Mark.
Kingsville Kings wisely dump it back in. Marvin Simmons in there working. Zach McDonough with the speedster. Quickly gains the line, dumps it back in. Colin Hofford around behind the net. And there's Simmons trying to knock it down again. Gardeman on the point. Simmons got hooked. Keeps up the puck, though. Back to Gardeman. Gardeman tight on the boards. Tries to get over to Burdov, and it handcuffs him, goes through his legs and out of the zone. Matthias Gardeman straddles a red line, and Mark Villeneuve tries to block it, and he loses an edge behind the net. Quickly, Zolkanik's back on. As the Renegades shovel it around. Zolkanik's back in the Renegade zone. Niederbach now on one skate, gets it up and over the net. Zolkanik's dump back in front to Gardeman, back to Vosterik. Vosterik winds, hits a leg in front. Up to Vosterik. Quickly out, and Mark Villeneuve drops down and makes the save.
Nice glove hand there by Villeneuve, Mark. Let me take a moment, Mark, and let you know that that was a power play goal by the Kingsville Kings to give them a 1-0 lead at 8:21 of the first period. It was C.J. Nicholson with his second of the playoffs from Ivan Hodgilov and Devin Dara, again at 8:21 of the first period. A power play goal to give the Kingsville Kings a 1-0 lead.
And that's where we sit at this moment in time. 8:24 to play in the first period as the puck gets up and over Lucas Havelka's jumping hand as the Kingsville Kings try to keep it in their zone. Renegades quickly grab the puck and dump it back in. Kyle Borner back to retrieve. Mark Bernard pushing him around. C.J. Nicholson now. Ivan Hodgilov reaches out, can't quite get to it. Throws the fake check, comes out in front. And it's sitting on the line, and Not sure if it's in or not. Looks like the referee is pointing to the corner. It was sitting there in a just juicy spot, and no one could seem to get their stick on it.
Yeah, Mark, it looked like to me that puck was just begging to cross that line. You know what? If it was 5 minutes earlier and the ice still a little shiny, that would have made it across.
It might have made it across. Kingsville Kings win the faceoff. Matt Matty with a quick snapshot, blows the bottle, and a great goal by Matt Matty.
Wow, what a bomb by Matt Matty there. I don't even think Villeneuve saw it. Popped the bottle on top of the net. Everyone likes to see that. The kids love to see that. My father loves to see that, Mark. But anyway, great shot by Matt Matty there. And again, I have to say, I do not think Villeneuve saw that puck.
No, it was quickly over to Matty, and he didn't take any time at all. Just threw it and popped the bottle, and away we go. Quickly, 2-0 to Kingsville Kings. Nikita Van back to get it. He's pushed off the puck as the Renegades quickly dump it out. It's going to be on net. Jan Pesek, icing waved off. Colin Hofford now trying to come out of his own zone. Correction, make that Lucas Havelka our player to watch. Blake Nada with a quick shot up and over the net. Havelka on the blue line. He knocks it down. Pushed off it really quickly. Matt Matty, our goal scorer, back across the blue line. He drops it back. Lucas Havelka, quick shot. Bounces up front, right into the slot. And the Renegades come up with a puck. Joshua Hache from Chatham, Ontario, goes the other way. We got a stick stuck in the boards. Matt Matty's stick is stuck in the boards. He quickly gets it out. Hopefully it's not broken in any way. You might want to check that, and he does. Oh, Blake Nada is going down. We got a tripping call coming. And the North York Renegades are going to be one man short for 2 minutes or less.
Well, Mark, you know what? I don't have to tell you this, but this is really going contrary to Coach Ramsey's plan for the North York Renegades. He was telling me specifically before the game, his team had to play smart, stay out of the box, do not take penalties tonight, avoid putting sticks and arms or limbs on the Kingsville Kings.
Well, I think that was an unintentional penalty. It was one of those things where just wrong place, wrong time, and the tripping call was made. But nonetheless, he's in the box, Connor Kearney, for 2 minutes or less as the Kingsville Kings work their power plays, second of the game. C.J. Nicholson behind the net. Quickly dumps it out to Hojalov. Gets it back to a Havelka. Quickly back to a Hojalov. Havelka in the high slot. Goes, and there we got a chop by the goaltender. And now it's more happening. This is intentional.
Yeah, Mark, I've met a lot of hockey players as we look at this scrum in front of the North York net over my lifetime. You've met them. And I've been informed that all penalties are unintentional.
Well, and I'm not really sure what's happening here because I see a number 33 on the ice, and it looks like Christopher Thompson, who normally wears number 3. 33 for the North York Renegades is Evan Purdy, a backup goaltender. And for some reason, Chris Thompson's got 33 on tonight.
You know what? I'm guessing we wondered about the North York goaltender. We look at Thompson, Big Thompson, sitting in the box there. We wondered about the backup goaltender wearing a red shirt for warm-up. Perhaps there's our answer. Obviously, someone forgot a jersey.
Yeah, quite possibly. There we go. So,
but it is like big Chris Thompson in the box.
It's definitely Chris Thompson. Now we got to look at the face. That's the big man for the North York Renegades, and he's the only one sitting the penalty. Not sure what was going on there, but I saw a chop by Mark Villeneuve as he swung the sickle and was chopping down the Kingsville tree. A little pushing and shoving after that whistle. As Thompson goes for roughing, Colin Hofford. Little pass around here. It's 5-on-3 for the Kingsville Kings, and they're setting up, moving in, making it a little tight, making the North York Renegades squeeze in. Brett Bloor on the top. Quick shot in the net as they move the puck really, really well, and that'll eat up the first penalty for the Kingsville Kings.
Yeah, you see, great shot there. Kingsville Kings, they're prolific on the power play. Vosteric, the recipient of a great cross-ice pass, and blows it by Villeneuve. But you know what stood out to me on that power play situation for the Kingsville Kings, Mark, was Zach Zolkanik taking space and sight away from goaltender Villeneuve. The only thing Zach Zolkanik didn't have there was his lawn furniture.
And a campfire. Well, Zach Zolkanik had a great game yesterday. He scored 4 goals against these North York Renegades. As Matthias Gardeman comes in, gets a shot, but it goes wide. Niederbach pushes his way in, comes up with the puck. Quickly out to Gardeman. Gardeman drops it back to Hofford. He's playing the high point. Steps into the middle, still on the power play. 5-on-4 right now for the Kingsville Kings. There's over to Gardeman. Quick pass up to Hofford. Hofford's looking for a lane, nowhere to go. Gets it back to Gardeman. Zolkanix is in tight. Hofford. Hofford Vosterik, our goal scorer. Back to Gardeman. He fakes the shot, dumps it back to Vosterik. Vosterik in tight to Hofford as they move the puck really, really well. 49 seconds yet to go in this penalty as the Kingsville Kings are taking control on this particular power play. Vosterik over to Gardeman. Gardeman, cross-ice pass, tries to get it to Niederbach. It's tipped and he can't one-time it. Into Gardeman. He's in too tight. And the Renegades come up with the puck. Tried to clear it, but Hofford is there. Hofford dumps it back to Gardeman. Gardeman, cross-ice pass to Niederbach, and he lets it go. Comes all the way through, and Hofford can't quite keep it in. Kingsville Kings are forced to retreat as the Renegades try to make a quick line change there. And the Kingsville Kings are caught offside.
Mark, I got a few goals to catch up on from our viewers. I can tell you at this point that the Kingsville Kings took a 2-0 lead on a great shot from Matt Matty, his first goal of the playoffs, from Blake Nada and Johnny Guerrera at 12-13 to give Kingsville a 2-0 lead.
Here come the Kingsville Kings. Ivan Hojlov up the far boards. Quickly dumps it out. He gets it back. Burdov now. Burdov on the blue line. Wines, fires. That goes off the skate of Spencer Horner. As Burdov cycles to try and keep it in. He fights off his check and dumps it in. Gets it all the way down. Ivan Hojlov in. Puts the fear of God in Dalton Monahan as he dumps it into the far corner. Burdov now. He gets pushed off his puck, but he managed to get it deep. And the Renegades dump it down the ice, but the man has left the box. That makes it an icing call.
Again, Mark, a few moments ago, I commented that Matt Matty put the Kingsville Kings up 2-0 at the 12-13 mark on a great shot. Kingsville's got their second power play goal of the night at 13:57. David Vosterik, his second of the playoffs, again from Blake Nada and Calum Hofford.
Jonathan Yanofsky now on the far boards. Kingsville Kings player falls down as Yanofsky dumps it around to Sorrells. Yanofsky once again throws it into the fray, goes up into the netting. We're going to have a face-off in the Renegade zone to the right of Mark Villeneuve.
Well, Mark, with 3 minutes and 43 seconds left in this third playoff game, boy, North York Renegades find themselves in a hole already at this point of this game. What are they going to do? 40 more minutes of hockey left.
Quick pass over to Brett Bloor. He turns and fires it deep into the Kingsville zone. Jan Pesek makes the motion that it's going to come around behind the net, and it quickly comes out. Jan Pesek there with a little tip up right under the glove. He says thank you and stands up for the face-off.
Yeah, I'm sure Jan Pesek is happy to see that action around his net. No goaltender likes to get cold. You like to have shots at you, at least the occasional shot to keep in the game. And really, Kingsville has dominated the play, and they've showed good discipline so far.
Thus far. 43 minutes to go, and anything can happen as Matt Matty streaks up the left side. He gets pushed off the puck there by Connor Shipton. Matty goes crashing down, and the Renegades try to ice the puck. It goes off of Mike McInnes, the linesman, and quickly back into the Renegade zone. Renegades tried to sidestep there. Colin Hofford and C.J. Nicholson gets around. Renegades come up with the puck. That's Mark Menard working in the corner. He quickly gets it over to Christopher Thompson. He flips it out. Here comes Matt Matty. He's got Blake Nada with him. Quick pass over to Blake Nada, and he can't quite convert it as Mark Villeneuve read that perfectly and was there for the save. Puck squirts out, and Mark Menard growls it and brings it around to Mark Villeneuve for the face-off.
We look at Blake Nada there with a golden opportunity on a sweet pass from Matt Matty. Good shot there by Nada, but the star of that play was definitely Villeneuve. In my day, that would have been a great opportunity for a two-pad stack. Nice to see the kid come across and make that save.
Did a great job there to keep this game tight at 3. Vosterik, he gets pushed off. Marvin Simmons quickly in, and beautiful convert. Yanofsky. And that looks like...
It looks like our we like him a lot.
Oh, Dan Leach.
Dan Leach.
Dan Leach, I couldn't quite tell who it was. He had his back the other way and couldn't make it out, but that was a beautiful tic-tac-toe play, and Dan Leach was on the right end of that string.
Yeah, Dan Leach, it's we like the way he kills penalty, his work ethic. He's a great part of this Kingsville Kings. We've enjoyed watching him all year. As
Dan Leach steps into the faceoff with a great big smile, Marvin Simmons comes in. Quick backhand out in front, and Dan Leach tries to knock it down, almost deflected it in the net. Dan Leach once again. There's Marvin Simmons looking for Leach. He's got two players on him. Quickly out to Janowski. Janowski back to the D, up and over the net. Here's Vosterek. David Vosterek now, number 5. Working into the corner. Marvin Simmons dumps it between his legs. Beautiful pass out to Burdov. And the pushing and shoving is starting to ramp up just a little bit as Joshua Hache comes out of the zone. He hits the blue line, loses the puck, but he goes after it wisely as it squirts out. Back in the zone. Offside is waved off. David Vosterek now with the puck. Over to his defensive partner, tried for the reach, for the big reach pass to Dan Leach, and that wasn't going to go as the Renegades wisely got their stick in the lane. Pass in, Vosterek now, being chased by Mark Menard. Into the corner, quick bank off the near boards, gets controlled by the Renegades. There's Brett Bloor. Mark Menard comes in. Brett Bloor roofs one. So Brett Bloor to Mark Menard, and he gets it back. Brett Bloor, and he puts one up and over Jan Pesek with a minute 12 to go here in the first period. Quickly makes this game 4-1 Kingsville, and the Renegades have life.
Nice. It's nice to see North York get on the board here. Brett Bloor with a good top shelf shot over sprawling Jan Pesek, and really, for the sake of all of us who are watching, Mark, and certainly the North York fans, we want to see North York make it a game.
Well, Kingsville, like they are on different pages of the book there. They just kind of broke down and left Brett Bloor all alone in front of the net, which is something they don't normally do. There's Havelka. Quickly up to Blake Nada. He tries to kick it up to his stick and is unable to. Chris Thompson there working Blake Nada. Blake Nada comes out of the corner with the puck. Over to Havelka. Havelka, quick shot, blocked in front. Blake Nada now. Steps into the high slot. Dumps it into the corner. Chris Thompson goes after it. Pushes Johnny Guerrero out of the way. And Havelka stands up the puck on the blue line. Dumps it back in, goes all the way deep. Chris Thompson goes back to get it. Zolkanix pushes him around. But Thompson gets his big body in the way and shovels the puck over the open wing. 2 Kings in the corner, pushing and shoving, and the Kingsville Kings come up with the puck. Off the side of the net, that's Dan Leach. Johnny Guerrero goes after it. Quickly back to Dan Leach. It hops over his stick. Marvin Simmons on the far boards. Back to Dan Leach. Dan Leach with a quick shot. Up and over Mark Villeneuve. And there wasn't a black jersey there to pick it up. Havelka controls his man. Let the pucks go around as the buzzer sounds. And the score is 4-1 in favor of the Kingsville Kings. Well, Steve, I like what I see in the North York Renegades in the first period, but the Kingsville Kings had better success.
Oh, for sure. You know, Mark, if I look at both keys to the game, speaking with coaches before the game, really I think the Kingsville Kings achieved theirs. The North York Renegades, they're really struggling to create scoring chances. However, you never know it by that sweet goal that Brett Bloor got towards the end of the first period. So, you know, really Kingsville needs just to stay disciplined, keep moving their feet, trying to draw North York into penalties and really power play opportunities for themselves. And really the Renegades, Mark, have to continue to try to get shots on net, scoring opportunities within the Kingsville zone.
Well, Coach Ramsey, we talked about it before the game, he has a plan. Whether his players are executing that plan, he's going to have an opportunity to discuss that with his players in the first period intermission. Mark Knight along with Steve Pronger. You're watching Kingsville Kings hockey on WeTV. We'll be back.
Live and local, WeTV. and local. WeTV. March 7th through 10th, WeTV is proud to be your exclusive broadcaster of the 2016 OFSA Boys AAA Hockey Championship. This 4-day event comes to you live from the Vollmer Complex in LaSalle, Ontario, and will bring together the province's best high school hockey teams. For tournament information and game schedules, go to ofsa.on.ca. For all the end-to-end action and play-by-play, go to WeTV. We got you covered. From the opening tip-off to the final basket, the St. Clair College Sportsplex will host the best Canada has to offer in women's collegiate basketball. March 16th through March 19th, 8 teams will be putting their best on the floor to gain basketball supremacy at the CCAA level. Complete coverage of this action-packed event hosted by St. Clair College Saints Athletics can be watched exclusively on www.we-tv.ca. WeTV, bringing Windsor and Essex County to the world. It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
Tom is trying to justify buying a new car. That should do it.
Need a good reason? There's never been a better time to get yourself into the best-selling car in Canada for 17 years. Now during the Honda Model Clearout, get a $1,000 Civic bonus when you finance any new 2015 Civic model.
Welcome back to Kingsville Arena. Mark Knight along with Steve Pronger. After one period of play, the Kingsville Kings lead the North York Renegades by a score of 4-1. Steve, why don't you break down the goal scoring here in our first period?
Yeah, Kingsville typically gets off to an early lead. That was no different than this game. C.J. Nicholson, power play goal, his second of the playoffs from Hodgelov and Dara at 8:21, was soon followed by Matt Matty, a terrific shot, Mark. You may remember that shot.
Great shot. Rock the bottle.
Rocked the bottle right off the net. His first of the playoffs from Blake Nada and Johnny Guerrero at 12:13 of the first period. Kingsville went up 3-0. David Voskarik, his second goal of the playoffs, another Kingsville Kings power play goal from Blake Nada and Caleb Hofford at 13:37. And then the fourth Kingsville Kings goal, a terrific goal by Dan Leach, his second of the playoffs from Janoski and Simmons at 17:36. But, Mark, that wasn't to be it.
No.
Just when we thought the North York Renegades might be packing it early, great top shelf shot. Brett Bloor made it 4-1 from McKenzie and Minarin at 18:48, Mark, and here we go.
All right. Ready to start the second period. Mike McInnes is in there, and the North York Renegades come up with the puck off the first faceoff. Try to shovel it down. Zach Zokanix rips one just a little over Mark Villeneuve's head. Ludwig Niederbach in there. Matthias Gardner comes out quickly over to Zokanitz, again up and over the net, in tight in the slot. Kyle Borner. Little snapshot, gets over Gardner's stick. Little scramble on the blue line, and the Renegades come out of their zone. Patrick Silva. Back across center ice. And Zach Zokanitz is chasing the puck. Dumped in by Jesse Georgopoulos, our player to watch, and the puck goes out of play.
Yeah, Mark, you know what? Here's our officiating crew tonight. We often don't give these guys enough credit in junior hockey, quite tough sometimes. We see linesman Mike McInnes. He's joined by Mike Maderbacher and J.P. St. Jules tonight. Great job by these guys.
They're doing a really good job tonight, keeping things in line. Chris Thompson, backpedal into his own zone. Gets it up to Mark Menard. He skates into the Kingsville zone, still comes up to the puck, shoots one through the crease, and it comes back out to the slot. Georgopoulos quickly in. He dumps it up to Johnny Ariza, and quickly the Renegades get their second of the game early in the second period.
Gary Astalos was very, very emphatic, Mark, before the game, telling me that they have to limit any opportunities of to give North York any life. Take the breath out of their sails, the wind out of their sails early by getting up a couple goals. But you know what? That strategy doesn't seem to be affecting North York.
Wisely, Mike Maderbacher, our referee, stood at the juncture of the two benches to make sure that the celebration didn't carry on into the Kingsville bench. And there's Johnny Guerrero up across the blue line. Matt Matty had to dump quickly back. Guerrero behind the net. Pushed off the puck there by Connor Shipton. It comes back to the blue line. Quick shot on net and up into the netting. And we've got another face-off call to the right of Mark Villeneuve.
Mark, what I'm going to say may sound obvious, but you have to play hockey to win a hockey game. Kingsville Kings cannot take any playoff opponent lightly, and even with a 4-1 lead, you still got to come out and lay it on the line.
Well, the Renegades definitely have the jump here in the second period. They're winning the beginnings of the face-offs, and we've got a net off behind Mark Villeneuve, so they'll do that once again, just outside of the Renegades zone. 18:32 to play here in the second period, 4-2 Kingsville Kings. We've got a hockey game. Matt Matty knocks it down. Can't quite control it as the Renegades get it up over the blue line. Brett Bluer all around the other side to Spencer Horner. He dumps it back to the near side. Quickly towards the net. Matt Matty tries to knock it down with his hand. And away goes Johnny Guerrero. Over the blue line. Johnny Guerrero beats his way to the puck, but Brett Bluer knocks it off his stick out of the zone. Johnny Guerrero, once again, quickly up. And there's Daniil Burdoff. He dumps it in. Mark Villeneuve comes out of the net to block it up. Play on the near boards. Matt Matty knocks it out. Brett Bluer now with a quick shot, short and high. It goes up and over. Spencer Horner now behind the net. Janowski over to Bosterik. And here goes Dan Leach on the far boards. He's got Janowski with him. Tries to get it across to him, but it goes off the skate of Dalton Monahan and behind the net. Kingsville Kings come out, try to get a quick shot up and over one more time. And Mark Villeneuve is there post to post. Blocks them all. 3 or 4 shots by the Kingsville Kings, and none of them made it past Mr. Villeneuve.
Yeah, good job by Villeneuve staying square to the Kingsville player there, blocking that post. But you look at the one goal by Brett Bluer, and now they have the second one on the board. These young men from North York, some of them can play. Some of them have 30-plus point seasons, Mark.
Dan Leach in there digging it. Quickly, Marvin Simmons gets it up and over the net. Back to Avelka. He gets a quick shot, and Villeneuve sees it all the way. Drops down, makes a save in the breadbasket.
Yeah, Brett Bluer, Mark, just to refresh our memory, had 30 points on the season, and Jesse Georgopoulos, our WeTV player to watch, 35 points on the season. Don't count North York out.
Ludwig Niederbach can't make it through the fray. Gardeman comes up with the puck. He's in there with Zokanitz and Niederbach. Quick shot. It goes wide on that. Villeneuve wasn't sure where it was. Oh, and a quick kick off the skate of Zach Zokanitz.
Well, there it is in the net, Mark.
Just like that.
Just like that. Again, Zach Zokanitz, I made a great tip-in goal there. I made a comment earlier in the game. He seems to love that front of the net. He has everything there except his lawn furniture. Well, right there, he was able to tip that puck as it came towards Villeneuve through the legs of the goaltender before he went down. Good tipping.
And there's Mark Villeneuve wondering what just happened there. That was just a simple clearing pass from the point. It went off Zolkanic's skate, and in the net it goes. He'll get credit for that. So he had a great game last night, and now he's padding that lead with his 8th goal of these playoffs. There's Kyle Borner trying to get out of his zone. Little flip pass, and Ivan Hodjalov is away with it. Devin Dara dumps it deep. Mark Villeneuve quickly out. Plays the puck really well. Hodjalov on the blue line can't quite keep it in. Jesse Georgopoulos now. Up across the blue line, he passes it. Lucas Havelka takes it away from him and tries to shovel it out of the zone. There's Mark Menard and Jesse Georgopoulos. Quickly over to Chris Thompson as he throws it back into the corner. But Lucas Havelka jumps up and comes up with the puck. As the Renegades try to get back out of their zone, there's Mark Menard now. He knocks it down, takes a check from Ivan Hodjalov, comes up, still has the puck, and Zach McDonough. Over to Colin Hofford, back to McDonough. Quickly up to Hodjalov. Hodjalov's got Matt Matty with him. He goes a little drop pass, but Matt Matty wasn't there, and the puck stays in the zone. Renegades now trying to find a way to get across the blue line. That's Cabot McKenzie as he's forced to cycle back. Quickly up to Brett Bluer. Brett Bluer with a big shot. Waited for McDonough to use as a screen and let that puck go. Johnny Guerrero coming back the other way. He's got Colin Hofford with him playing in a forward position as Nada's back covering his point. Nada swipes at it and falls. Matt Matty. Quick shot. Mark Villeneuve gets a little piece of that and deflects it high. And went off the butt end of the stick as Colin Hofford tries to shovel it into the corner. He gets beat on the short side by Brett Bluer. Quick shot on to John Pesek by Nikita Van, and Pesek wisely makes the save.
Mark, we going to give credit to number 20, John Ariza there with at 58 seconds of the second period from Jesse Georgopoulos and Mark Menard, bringing the North York Renegades to a 4-1 point, at 4-2, at that point.
Quick shot into Jan Pesek, and it goes up and into some equipment there.
So after Ariza brings the North York Renegades to 2 goals at 58 seconds, Zach Zolkanic's with his 8th, as you said, Mark, of the playoffs from Ludwig Niederbach and Kyle Borner at 3 minutes and 4 seconds gives the Kingsville Kings that 3-goal lead again.
Back to 5-2, and the Kingsville Kings are working in the Renegade zone. Quick steal by Dan Leach. He goes in, and just off the side of the goaltender, it goes wide of the net. Dan Leach quickly and tries to find it short side. Janowski, he dumps it back in. Marvin Simmons goes around behind the net. It doesn't make it back to him. David Vosterek shot out front, and the Renegades are able to clear the zone. Icing is waved off right on Jan Pesek, and he makes the save. A little bit of scrum there. As Joshua Hache goes in, and wisely Jan Pesek gets out of the blue ice, says, hey, house is yours, boys. Have fun. I'm going to go over in the corner and talk to the fans.
Yeah, it was a great job by Jan Pesek there to slow things down and freeze that puck. North York came out flying at the start of the second period, got a goal to bring themselves within 2 of the Kingsville Kings within 1 minute of the period starting. And so really, Kingsville Kings answered back quickly with their 5th goal. Slow things down, Kingsville Kings.
Referee Mike Maderbacher was giving instruction to the Renegades bench. Not sure what he was saying, but it looks like he was letting them know that the shenanigans in front of the net will not be tolerated tonight. As big Chris Thompson there goes off his skate, and Zolkanic's comes around. He loses an edge. He tries to make the curl and can't quite up. Comes up with a puck, and the Renegades dump it back to the point. Brendan Sorrells now. That would have been a great opportunity for Zach Zolkanic's had he not blown a shoe. Back to Havelka. He rips one in, and it goes past, I think Mark Villeneuve got a small piece of that one, but that was Lucas Havelka with a great shot from the far point, and Villeneuve is just looking, wondering what's going on. There we have Lucas Havelka.
Yeah, there he is. A great shot from the point. Villeneuve just couldn't get it. Lucas Havelka, our WeTV player of the game, player to watch. Great job, great shot, and brings his team up 6-2.
13:49 to play here in the second period, and the Kingsville Kings are looking like they are the better team. As C.J. Nicholson catches one on the back, gets into the zone. He shoots one wide. Mark Villeneuve goes to reach out for it, and the puck is not there. Nicholson, once again, behind the net. Hojelov gets it out to Havelka, and he lays a beautiful check out.
Mark, that was
Jesse Georgopoulos.
That was a meeting of the two Wii TV players to watch.
Yes, it was.
Could they get any closer?
Well, we picked them, and they play them. C.J. Nicholson in his own zone. He's weaving. He's trying to get around. Drops it back to Devin Dara. Devin Dara's got two Renegades on him. As the puck comes up, we got a little check from behind as Marvin Simmons goes to the ice. Jesse Georgopoulos comes up with it. He dumps it out front, and Ivan Hojelov is there as he comes out of the zone. A little bit of hugging and holding going on over there, as Hojelov has nowhere to go but dump it to the open wing. Quickly dumps into the zone as Nicholson decides to make a change. Devin Dara and Hojelov stay on. Matt Matty comes on to replace C.J. Nicholson. Hojelov now. He skates off the near boards quickly up to Blake Nada, and Blake Nada steps around Mark Villeneuve and dumps it deep. Correction, that's Devin Dara, my mistake. Devin Dara, number 10.
Yeah, Devin Dara, another one of our Kingsville Kings who we love. He really specializes well. You've seen him kill penalties all year long, but he has gotten big goals, 5-on-5 hockey at times. And the Kingsville Kings, off the stick of Devin Dara, take a 7-2 lead, Mark.
Well, we're not quite halfway through the second period, and the Kingsville Kings are opening this up. Blake Nada now loses it as Gadsby Taylor dumps it in. A new player for the North York Renegades, not here on the last two games. Colin Hofford now. Shovels it up to Matt Matty. He knifes it into the Renegade zone. Dalton Monahan around. It gets dumped back into the far corner. Matt Matty goes after that as Chris Thompson pastes him to the boards. Quickly out to McDonough. McDonough steps in from the point, little backhand, and he quickly beats Mark Villeneuve.
Mark, Zach McDonough, great defenseman for the Kingsville Kings all year. It's good to see him share from Wisconsin, New York. I love that play. It reminds me of the Bobby Orr, many great defensemen who cheated off the point, come into the slot, find the shot, and get that goal.
Well, he's a little guy, more like a Paul Coffey.
But you know what? He sneaks in. He's got great speed.
He does.
Zach McDonough, and great goal for him. 8-2, Kingsville Kings.
Dan Leach steps in, wins the faceoff, gets it over to Marvin Simmons. Quickly back to Zach McDonough. McDonough, no-look pass over to Colin Hofford. Quickly up. Marvin Simmons gets it into the zone. Dan Leach goes behind the net. Comes up with the puck. Tries to shovel it out front. And that's thwarted by the Renegades. Patrick Silva dumps it deep. Joshua Hache in the corner. We got a penalty coming up to the Kingsville Kings. An elbowing call.
Yeah, it looks like David Vosterik there. He's graciously heading towards the penalty box. Would you say an elbow there, Mark?
Elbow was the sign. And there's the confirmation. Elbowing call to David Vosterik. 11:23 to play, and the Kingsville Kings are down a man, but up 6 goals.
Well, let's see. The North York Renegades have proven they can score goals in this hockey game, and let's see what they got, 5-on-4. This is what Coach Ramsey wanted. He wanted power play opportunities.
Quick bank off the end boards, comes back out front, and the puck squirts out of the zone. And looks like we got a net-off situation.
Mark, the Kingsville Kings went up 6-2 at the 6:09 point of this period. Lucas Havelka, our WeTV player to watch, his first goal from Ludwig Niederbach and Zach Zolkanik.
Renegades working into Kingsville zone on the power play. Brett Bloor being pushed off the puck there. Jesse Georgopoulos in there to help out. Glove down on the ice as the Kingsville Kings dump it all the way down the zone. Mark Villeneuve comes out. Sets the puck nicely in place for Dalton Monahan.
That's the same place Zach Zolkanik fell.
There must be something wrong with the ice back there. Quickly up to Cabot McKenzie. McKenzie. He's working. You got Jesse Georgopoulos with there. They're not really sure who wants it. Got too many 7s down there. Pair of 7s and a single 7. Brett Bloor now. having a hard time setting up. You watch the Renegades on the power play and the Kingsville Kings on the power play, and it's a completely different setup. They're not really sure where to go. They're not in the right places, and they're being pushed around by the Kingsville Kings. Lucas Havelka in there. Allowed to step in. Mark Menard has got to go the other way. Blake Nada with the flip in the stick. Mark Menard once again. Nowhere to go. He's got two Kingsville Kings on him and nowhere to pass the puck. Mark Menard. Back to Georgopoulos. Back to Mark Menard. They haven't had a shot on net yet in this power play. Jesse Georgopoulos comes up in the corner, tries to stuff it in, and it's blocked in front. Mark Menard back in the corner again. 13 seconds in the power play as the Renegades find themselves on the outside. Quick shot goes off of Havelka's skate and out. Blake Nada gets the backhand on it and shovels it down. And wholesale line change for the Kingsville Kings as the penalty expires. Bosteric makes it to the bench just as Hofford steps on, and the Kingsville Kings pot one more to bring the score 9-2. 9 minutes to play, just over 9 minutes to play here in the second period.
Mark, that was Marvin Simmons from Phoenix, Arizona, another American-born player, great addition to the Kingsville Kings, finding his shot, going to the back of the net. Marvin Simmons, big smile on his face. And, must be a little disappointing for the North York Renegades after having a power play themselves to give up a goal so soon after it expired.
Just as it ends, 3 seconds after. But as I said, they had trouble trying to find that groove in there, and it wasn't happening for them. Kingsville Kings dump it into the corner. Dan Leach in there behind to get it. Dan Leach is checked off the puck. Tries to get it up to Zach McDonough. Puck stays in the corner. Around to McDonough. McDonough pinches in off the blue line. Quick pass up to Johnny Ariza, one of the goal scorers for the Renegades. He's pushed off the puck. He runs out of ice, and the Kingsville Kings come the other way. Marvin Simmons with a nice pass to Dan Leach. It goes in the net. Dan Leach beats him on the short side with a great big smile. Dan Leach, and as you see the Kingsville Kings congratulating their buddy Dan Leach, number 22 for the Kingsville Kings.
Dan Leach, Mark, from Clawson, Michigan, his second of the game. Tremendous passing play, him and Marvin Simmons. Simmons scoring a goal a few minutes ago. And, it looks like Villeneuve's coming out of the net, Mark.
Yep, well, with our backup goalie gets set,
the backup goalie.
That's going to be Evan Purdy.
Yeah, and I guess
Evan Purdy normally wears number 33, but as we talked about that a little bit ago, Chris Thompson is wearing number 33. So Evan Purdy's going in the net with the red jersey. As you see, no number on the back, and we've figured out what is going on there. So give him a couple of seconds to, loosen up those muscles. And Mark Villeneuve has had enough for tonight. 10 in just over 32 minutes. Quickly back to Chris Thompson. He shoves it up the far boards. Daniel Burdov gets it out of his zone as the Kings let it float back in to the Renegade zone. Ivan Hojelov in. I thought that was offside, but the referee thought otherwise. Hojelov in behind his net. Quickly comes out on the short side. Hojelov back again. Hojelov in the corner. He spins, he's working, he comes out, a little soft backhand, and Evan Purdy makes his first save of the game.
That's the kind of shot, Mark, that every goaltender that's got to come off the bench cold into the game wants to face. Just something, a little chippy action, something a little soft floating your way. Purdy is a big kid from Whitby, Ontario. He no doubt is going to do his best, and hopefully he can just keep the forces at bay that are coming at him.
Kingsville Kings with a quick shot wide of the net. I need your opinion on something, though, Steve, as Evan Purdy makes his second save. If we can get a shot on him, have a look at that jersey that he's wearing. It almost looks like it's too small for him. I wonder if that's going to play a part in his ability to move like a goaltender is used to moving.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that red jersey, the only red jersey on the ice.
Kingsville Kings, Matthias Gardeman in there. He wins that, passes it over to Niederbach. Niederbach quickly up to Zolkanics, tries to dump it out, as Kyle Borner can't quite keep it in the zone. Havelka dumps it back up. Zolkanics, little soft pass up to Niederbach. Niederbach with a quick shot wide of the net. That's Gardeman on the near side. Zolkanics now. Mark Menard tried to dump it in. He goes offside. Zach Zolkanics comes the other way. We got a quick pass up to Niederbach. Niederbach's in all alone. And Evan Purdy with the Patrick Waugh, the big arm, and I've got the puck, makes a great big save. And sometimes you need that. You got to get this thing rolling.
Well, Mark, maybe, as I said, cold goaltender, wants something to do a little more difficult. We showed some good agility there with that shot, saving that shot from Niederbach. I don't know. Maybe that tight shirt will just keep him in the game awake enough.
Well, that's a play you make for the home fans, and he used it here in Kingsville, but maybe it'll rally the troops in the North York Renegades bench as Zach McDonough knocks one down, goes in after it. McDonough skating hard. Comes in all the way, gets a quick shot in there, and Evan Purdy puts out the paddle and pulls it in.
Mark, I mentioned early as we look again at the new goaltender Purdy, today was Hockey Day in America, and we had a great 2 NHL games featuring American teams. And why not? And I'm trying whenever I can. We have a lot of American-born players in this game tonight for the Kingsville teams, and we're glad to have them.
And for the North York Renegades. Glad to have them here. Justin Peary now, dumping around the corner. Matt Matty swiping at it. Matt Matty comes out of the corner. Justin Peary on him. Quickly over to Guerrero. Guerrero dumps it in. Chris Thompson tries to get it out. McDonough steps in off the blue line. He gets it up to Nada, and he tic-tac-toes it out to McDonough. It goes through his skates and out of the zone. Colin Hofford, great geometry. Hard pass behind the net. Gets over to McDonough. Once again back to Hofford as Matt Matty gets it out of the zone. Hofford with the catch, and the pass off the glass. Goes up to Johnny Guerrero, but he can't quite get to it, and icing will be the call. Waved off. The goalie left the crease. Cabot McKenzie dumps it around. It squirts out. Johnny Guerrero once again. Johnny Guerrero on a long shift. Whacking at it. Havelka tries to keep it in, and he does. Johnny Guerrero out to Burdov. Burdov winds and fires. Great shot, but Evan Purdy is there for the save.
Perhaps the greatest name in hockey, Mark. I've said this to Johnny Guerrero. Love that name from Woodhaven, Michigan, another American-born player. Really the heart and soul of that shift for the Kingsville Kim. His work ethic and hustle on that definitely gave Burdov that great opportunity.
Well, there's our most recent goal scorer, Dan Leach, with the big smiles. He stuffed one short, wins that face-off, pulls it all the way out of the zone, and it makes it all the way back into the Kingsville zone. Yanofsky in there chasing around, now Burdov in his own zone. He tries to bank one off the boards, is unable to. Dan Leach comes back to help out as Burdov ends up with the puck. Easy pass up to Marvin Simmons. Here we go, in and all alone. Marvin Simmons with the shot, and Evan Purdy with a great save. Evan Purdy's moving hard, and another 3 whacks at it from the side, and Evan Purdy got the pad down and made the great save.
Yeah, we look at that little scrum there, and Purdy still crawling, getting up off the ice. Great save by him, protecting that pad. Mark, Kingsville Kings took a 10-2 lead at 11:29 of this second period. Dan Leach getting his third of the playoff from Marvin Simmons and Caleb Hofford. Really a good combination there of Simmons and Leach working together.
Leach was in the right place at the right time and managed to stick it in on the short side as the Kingsville Kings are working in the Renegades zone, enjoying a 10-2 lead as the puck hops up and over into the Kingsville bench. We'll have another stoppage in play.
Well, Mark, if we look ahead to what's happening for the Kingsville Kings, this much we do know, that the London Lakers have been eliminated at the hands of the Toronto Attack, haven't they? So they're already done. So the Toronto Attack are waiting their next opponent in the second round of these playoffs.
In the corner, Mark Menard. He comes out from around his own net, runs into a Kingsville Kings player. As well, the Halton Ravens have put off the Toronto Predators. So we got 2 series that are finished in the South Division and 1 series each. So we're waiting on the winner of Kamoka and Niagara, and that game has just started. So 5 plays 4, and the Niagara Whalers are ahead of the Kamoka Dragons by 2-0. We're at 2-0 here. The Kingsville Kings are enjoying a 10-2 lead with 4:40 to go here in the second period. It's looking like this is going to end in 3 games as Mark Menard breaks the D. Quick shot goes wide of the net. He ends up in the blue ice, wondering what happened to him. C.J. Nicholson dumps it over to the far board. Sorrells tries to get it up. He blocks the shot, steps into open ice, and quickly passes it over to Kyle Borner. Kyle Borner, soft pass up to C.J. Nicholson. C.J. Nicholson, number 9, tries to drop it to Ivan Hojalov and is unable to complete the pass. Spencer Horner now in there trying to become a pest. C.J. Nicholson, quick soft pass through the legs. It goes wide and quickly up. Icing is waved off. Nicholson back. Correction. McDonough back first. And Hojalov on the far boards. Hojalov skates in. He's being harassed by Spencer Horner. Back to Gardeman. Gardeman with a good shot on net. Steered to the corner by Evan Purdy. Colin Hofford quickly in. Dumps it into the corner. There's Ivan Hojalov. Number 18 for the Kingsville Kings. In the corner. Hits the brakes and then shifts gears. Goes behind the net. And Joshua Hache comes out the other way. Banging his stick on the ice. Didn't like what happened. He missed the puck. Spencer Horner in the zone with the puck. A little soft shovel over, but it can't quite complete as they ran out of ice and ended up behind the net. Back to Spencer Horner. He looks. Quick shot. Short. Jan Pesek makes the first save and drops it down as the Kingsville Kings come out of the zone. There's Niederbach. Niederbach up to Zach Zolkanix across the line. Zolkanix steps around Chris Thompson, tries to get in close, and he's shoved into the net, and the net goes sprawling. And Evan Purdy is down on the ice like he received something he didn't want to receive. Might be in a little bit of pain there.
He's shaking it off. We see him goes down, grabbing his helmet, maybe some ice, some snow, some spray in the face, Mark. But, gee, whenever you see Niederbach and Zach Zolkanix come hard at the net, 9 times out of 10, that goaltender is going to get some physicality coming his way. The net gets knocked off. That's the way this top line of the Kingsville Kings have become used to playing, and quite frankly, I'm glad to see them playing like that going into the playoffs.
Well, as the playoffs continue, more and more of the style of play of the Kingsville Kings is going to come to the forefront, and they haven't done a lot of that yet, but they're definitely in control of this game as Blake Nada skates through the Renegades at will, it seems, and he comes up with the puck. Holding on to the puck quickly over to Burdov. Burdov fakes, goes up and off a stick and into the netting. Another face-off in the Renegade zone.
You know, Evan Purdy there, we can all see him center of your screen with the red shirt on. He's hard to miss at this point, but really he's made some good saves for them coming into this game cold. You know, credit to him coming off the bench, but he's held himself in there. Good for him.
Not to second-guess Ryan Ramsey, but the way Evan Purdy's playing, I wonder if this game would be any different had Purdy started. Kingsville Kings controlling the puck in the Renegade zone. Back to Burdov. He shoots it wide over to Nada. Nada on the far boards. Looking. He's pushed off the puck. He has to come out of the zone. Shovels it back as Matt Matty is there to pick up. As the Kingsville Kings tag up, Matt Matty over to Burdov. Burdov can't make the sweep and knock it into the zone. He gets a second kick at the cat, and the puck comes out. Burdov now in his own zone. Looking for the outlet. Big stretch pass. And the Renegades are there to dump it back out. Burdov one more time in his own zone. Hits the blue line, dumps it up. Jesse Georgopoulos comes up with the puck. Steps around his check, Jonathan Yanofsky, and dumps it deep. Vosterek goes back. As it goes out, hops over the stick of Jesse Georgopoulos, and it goes all the way down. Dan Leach in there trying to make something happen. Havelka gets beat on the inside, but he manages to get back. Mark Menard shoves him into the corner. Georgopoulos is in there to help out. Vosterek now, quickly, comes out the near side. Dumps it over to the other side. Marvin Simmons. Marvin Simmons is being wrestled by Connor Kearney. In there, Simmons with the puck. Simmons comes across, banks it off of Dan Leach's skates, gets it back. Yanofsky now. Yanofsky's pushed into the corner. Up to Brendan Sorrells. He dumps it back in, and the Renegades come out of their zone. Mark Menard. He's got Jesse Georgopoulos with him. Dan Leach comes in. We got a penalty to the Kingsville Kings. Jesse Georgopoulos is going after Dan Leach. Didn't like the way he wrestled Mark Menard to the ice. As the referee's hand is in the air, indicating a penalty.
Yeah, Dan Leach has had a big game tonight for the Kingsville Kings. Maybe a little too big right there, Mark, as he's going to be heading to the box to serve 2 minutes for that aggression on the Norfolk Renegades player. And this is just what the North York Renegades need. They need a break. Mark, they need a break.
Well, Dan Leach is going to sit 2 for tripping as Mark Menard got upended, and Jesse Georgopoulos went over there to have his say against Dan Leach, and they chatted a little bit as they skated away, and no extracurriculars as the puck was dropped just a little bit early there, as Spencer Horner wasn't quite up to speed, but Puck was in. Quick shot from the point on Jan Pesek, and he makes that save. Shot coming from Dalton Monahan.
Yeah, as you see Pesek there, Coach Ramsey from North York has his guns on the ice. There's number 15, the captain at center, Brett Bloor, and to his right, Jesse Georgopoulos, our WeTV player to watch. Let's see what they got, Mark, late in the second period.
Quickly back to McKenzie. McKenzie dumps it in, and McDonough jumps 4 feet off the ice, comes down with the puck, and shovels it into the Renegade zone. Purdy comes out of the zone. Good puck play there. As McKenzie now. He weaves in his own zone. Up over the blue line. Into the Kingsville zone. Drops it back to Georgopoulos. Georgopoulos with the puck. Comes out to Spencer Horner. Spencer Horner up and over Jan Pesek from the high slot. And a good play there by the North York Renegades. As Spencer Horner brings them to within 7.
Yeah, Spencer Horner there. Good shot from the slot. I think maybe Jan Pesek, Mark, went down a little too soon and found the puck going over his shoulder. Horner make a good shot though, you know, and sometimes I think the goaltenders just have to really, you're going down a bit too soon. It's easy to go down and play the butterfly style, but they're going to get beat up top. Good shot by Horner there.
94 from 77 and 7, and the Renegades add one more to their side of the scoreboard as the clock winds down to end the second period. So just under the wire, the North York Renegades help out their prospects just a little bit more. It's a big hill to climb. 10-3 for the Kingsville Kings, but the Kings are up 2 games to none and are comfortably ahead in this game.
Yeah, we don't want to think ahead, Mark, but really as we go into this second intermission, I know you and I are wondering about this game, Kamoka at Niagara tonight, which starts at 8:30. It's going to get underway, and really the winner of that game, all the playoffs for the second round, the matchups will sort out nicely in a few hours from now. Yeah,
so 1, 2, 3, and 4, if the Niagara Whalers manage to knock off the Kamoka Dragons, will be in place in the South Division, and that would mean the Kingsville Kings in the second round would be welcoming the Niagara Whalers once again to Kingsville Arena. We're going to take a short break, back with the second period action in just a bit. You're watching Kingsville Kings hockey on WeTV.
Live and local, WeTV. March 7th through 10th, WeTV is proud to be your exclusive broadcaster of the 2016 OFSA Boys AAA Hockey Championship. This 4-day event comes to you live from the Vollmer Complex in LaSalle, Ontario, and will bring together the province's best high school hockey teams. For tournament information and game schedules, go to ofsa.on.ca. For all the end-to-end action and play-by-play, go to WeTV. We got you covered. From the opening tip-off to the final basket, the St. Clair College Sportsplex will host the best Canada has to offer in women's collegiate basketball. March 16th through March 19th, 8 teams will be putting their best on the floor to gain basketball supremacy at the CCAA level. Complete coverage of this action-packed event hosted by St. Clair College Saints Athletics can be watched exclusively on www.we-tv.ca. WeTV, bringing Windsor and Essex County to the world. It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered.
Tom is trying to justify buying a new car. That should do it.
Need a good reason? There's never been a better time to get yourself into the best-selling car in Canada for 17 years. Now during the Honda Model Clearout, get a $1,000 Civic bonus when you finance any new 2015 Civic model.
Live and local, WeTV.
Questions.
We've got your answers.
If it matters to you,
Then it matters to us. We got you covered. WeTV.
Live and local, WeTV. March 7th through 10th, WeTV is proud to be your exclusive broadcaster of the 2016 OFSA Boys AAA Hockey Championship. This 4-day event comes to you live from the Vollmer Complex in LaSalle, Ontario, and will bring together the province's best high school hockey teams. For tournament information and game schedules, go to ofsa.on.ca. For all the end-to-end action and play-by-play, go to WeTV. We got you covered. From the opening tip-off to the final basket, the St. Clair College Sportsplex will host the best Canada has to offer in women's collegiate basketball. March 16th through March 19th, 8 teams will be putting their best on the floor to gain basketball supremacy at the CCAA level. Complete coverage of this action-packed event hosted by St. Clair College Saints Athletics can be watched exclusively on www.we-tv.ca. WeTV, bringing Windsor and Essex County to the world. It's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's WeTV, Windsor Essex Television, and you can watch it anywhere. www.we-tv.ca is the place to be. If it's sports, entertainment, or community events, WeTV has what you're looking for. The people, places, and faces of our community are front and center on WeTV. Check out www.we-tv.ca for what's being webcast live. WeTV, we got you covered. local. We TV. March 7th through 10th, We TV is proud to be your exclusive broadcaster of the 2016 OFSA Boys AAA Hockey Championship. This 4-day event comes to you live from the Vollmer Complex in LaSalle, Ontario, and will bring together the province's best high school hockey teams. For tournament information and game schedules, go to ofsa.on.ca. For all the end-to-end action and play-by-play, go to We TV. We got you covered.
Welcome back to Kingsville Arena. Mark Knight along with Steve Pronger. Kingsville Kings ahead of the North York Renegades by a score of 10-3. Steve, we got a lot to talk about for scoring in the second period.
Wow, Mark. 10-0 Kingsville Kings. I don't even know if we have time to read all of this, but in any event, Ariza, with his second of the playoffs, got the North York Renegades into only a 2-goal deficit at 58 seconds. But after that, it's just a whole laundry list of Kingsville Kings. Marvin Simmons putting the Kingsville Kings up 9-2 at 10:44, followed by Dan Leach at 11:29, 10-2. But Horner with that great shot to beat Jan Pesek, giving the Kingsville Kings a 10-2 lead going into the third period. And Mark, look, what do we have there?
We have the South County girls hockey team here at the Kingsville Arena saying hi, and really glad to have them aboard as the Kingsville Kings control the play in their zone here in the third period. Quick dump into the corner by Zach Zolkanix, and Christopher Thompson back to retrieve it on the fresh ice of the North York Renegades. Quick tap up there as Brett Bloor tries to get into the zone. Niederbach stands on the faceoff dot, picks it up, and the puck gets deflected way high and out of play. We're going to have a faceoff outside the Renegades zone.
Yeah, Mark, it's nice to see so many young people at the hockey games here at the Kingsville Arena. We've had great fan support for this hockey team all year long, and these Sun County girls hockey, it's great to see them out and participating in the junior level, having a great time here at the rink tonight.
Zach McDonough shovels it around the near side as the Renegades try to dump it out. Quickly back in the zone on Jan Pesek as he has to drop to make that save. Colin Hoffer now forced to cycle back in his own zone, hits the brakes behind the net, looks up ice. Quick pass up to Hojalov, and he can't control it. Mark Menard quickly back into the Kingsville zone. He tries to dump one in short side. It goes deep in the net, and the Kingsville Kings are scrambling to get it out of the zone. Jesse Georgopoulos in there, working the puck, just squirts out. Connor Shipton can't quite make the conversion. Mark Menard makes the dump, and the Renegades go for the wholesale line change, as the Kingsville Kings are having a little bit of difficulty getting out of their zone here to start the third period. Still 10-3, 18:32 to go in the third period. Kingsville Kings hockey on We TV. Zach McDonough behind his own net. Little drop pass to Colin Hofford. Hofford's looking up across his own blue line. He gets up to the red line. Little bounce pass into Purdy. Purdy shows the leather. Knocks the puck down. The puck gets caught a little bit on the wet ice there as the Renegades are forced back in their own zone. Christopher Thompson having some difficulty on the wet ice as well, as Cabot McKenzie tries to go up the far boards, and the Kingsville Kings dump it back in. Purdy hands off to Chris Thompson. Thompson behind his own net has to make sure that the puck gets through. Joshua Hache up the far boards.
Mark, it doesn't even appear the Kingsville Kings are forechecking any longer. As you look out in front of us, they seem to be playing a four-man trap with one person down. You know, they're just going to save their legs and try to get out of this period unscathed.
Warner takes a swipe at it, and it goes around him. Havelka now. Havelka, a little soft pass up to Blake Nada. Blake Nada knocks it in, and again, they curl back. Kingsville Kings looking for the line change. Marvin Simmons out there now. Havelka has to hurry up to get there. Mark Menard on him. Mark Menard throws the big check on Havelka as the puck comes around to the near corner. Jesse Georgopoulos on Kyle Borner. Havelka quickly over to Marvin Simmons. Marvin Simmons does the curl as the Renegades grab it and throw it down. Marvin Simmons. Havelka on his own blue line. Here's Jesse Georgopoulos. He's skating in. He's towards the net. He shovels it forward for Mark Menard, but it doesn't quite make it to his stick. The Renegades all the way back into their own zone as Evan Purdy comes out. And we see we got a goaltender change here for the Kingsville Kings. They didn't report it to us, but Wes Werner is in net now, not Jan Pesek. Thanks, Steve, for that. Good eye. Give Werner a little bit of ice time in a big game, 10-3, as the Kingsville Kings are just going out for a skate right now as Daniel Burdov dumps it in.
It certainly looks like it, doesn't it? As I mentioned a few moments ago, they're not forechecking. Look at them right now in front of you. They seem to be content with skating backwards through the neutral zone and just letting North York take the chance they may.
Even if they happen to get another one, they're not going to get 7. There's Niederbach.
Just see what he just did. Instead of grasping that puck and charging the net, he just tips it in the zone, and now they're waiting for North York to come out.
Very unlike Ludwig Niederbach.
I understand what Gary's doing here, Coach Estalis. I get it, and he doesn't want to risk any injury, any penalties. He's just going to let North York attempt to come down the ice and score a goal, and they're just going to set. They're almost like prevent defense you would see in a football game.
Normally, I would disagree with this move, but the Kingsville Kings seem to be able to turn it on at will whenever they need to. And here we go. There's a quick shot. Zolkanix gets in and rips one from outside the blue line, and Evan Purdy's there to make the save. Renegades quickly down to the zone. I don't think they've got it figured out yet that the Kingsville Kings are doing that, because the Renegades are still playing their game.
Well, Coach Ramsey should be able to figure it out. He's an experienced guy. He played pro hockey himself. He's no dummy. He knows what's going on out there. His players may not understand at the moment, but as we take this whistle for an icing mark, really the Kingsville Kings have gone into the best way I can describe it. Again, it's like a prevent defense you might see in a football game.
Well, there was one game here in the Greater Metro Hockey League with a score of 20-0. That's Temiskaming earlier on, and I was talking to some friends earlier today, and they wondered why they didn't just play this particular game. And who knows what's going on and what's in the coach's mind and what the team wants to do. But the Kingsville Kings have definitely, as you say, 4-man trap, 1-man deep, and just make sure that things stay out there. As a little bit of a check there, as Zach McDonough throws his weight around just a little bit. In their own zone, they're digging hard. 3 Kings, 2 Renegades, and the Renegades come out with the puck. Kozlov on the point. Gets it up, just taps it out of the zone. And Cabot McKenzie up across the red line. He's pushed off it by C.J. Nicholson. Forces circle back. Nicholson 1 man in. Everybody find a white jersey. And Zach McDonough on his knees on the red line dumps it back into the Renegade zone.
See, the Kingsville Kings, Mark, by not being too aggressive, they're also not going to take any penalties. And we know they don't want that.
No, and that's, as we talked about in Steve's Keys earlier at the start of the game, that's Gary Estalis' plan, that not to take too many penalties. And they haven't done that as of yet. There hasn't been the typical penalties like we've seen in games such as this. The last game, there was a lot of penalties at the end of the game. And both teams are the recipients of those. We had some suspensions because of that. As Colin Hofford tries to squirt out, Jesse Georgopoulos is forcing him, and Colin Hofford just wisely goes back in the other door around his net. Johnny Guerrero straddling the blue line, Colin Hofford back behind his net. Just burning the clock, 13:25 to go here in the third period. Johnny Guerrero in all alone, gets up into the top of the faceoff circle and winds one.
Some people might not like this style of play, but the bottom line is, Mark, that you have to do what it takes to win a hockey game. Kingsville with this league, they don't have to do much. Just kind of stay out of the way of themselves.
Live to play another game, and they've got at least one more series to go, likely 2 or 3, at the expense of a couple of other teams, the Toronto Attack, the Halton Ravens, or the Niagara Whalers in the South Division here in the Greater Metro Hockey League.
And Mark, Coach Astolis also told me before the game, for our WeTV viewers out there, he expects the next home game to be played here at the Kingsville Arena on Friday night.
So we got 5 days to go, waiting for the outcome of the Niagara Whalers and the Kamoka Dragons, where the Whalers are up on the Kamoka Dragons 2-0 right now. There's Dan Leach dumping it up the far boards. He goes after it, making sure Kyle Borner trying to play the pick. Little soft check there, and it looks like the North York Renegades have softened their push as Marvin Simmons gets to the blue line and just shovels it in. Dan Leach plays high. Everybody drops back. 4 on the line and 1 man high as the Renegades try to come out of the zone. There's Spencer Horner on the far boards. Gets it up to Cabot McKenzie. Little flying elbow there on Dan Leach as some frustration is starting to show up there in the form of the North York Renegades, and it's like they're thinking they're being toyed with.
Well, you got to be careful. There's a fine line, Mark, between winning gracefully or graciously, gracefully, both things, and you don't want to toy with your opponent. In other words, you got to avoid a subtle means of what you can say, rubbing in their face. We don't want to do that. We don't want any part of that. I know Kingsville Kings don't, but they're playing a smart brand of hockey here just to get themselves out of this game and into the next.
Well, I don't want to sound too much like a homer, but I think the Kingsville Kings are doing it just correctly now. They're not being too much, but I think it's going to frustrate the Renegades.
Well, Mark, you think about it. The Kingsville Kings at this point have to avoid any fights, any major penalties, if they want a full and healthy lineup for their next game, whenever it might be.
Gardeman tips that back all the way into the Renegade zone as they come out. Here comes McKenzie. C.J. Nicholson stops him on the blue line. Nixon quickly in. Connor Kearney tips that into the corner. Ivan Hojlov is there. It comes out. Hojlov. Soft pass over to the other wing. Marvin Simmons dumps it deep, and they don't even cross the blue line. They get it deep and out. Here's Jesse Georgopoulos. Georgopoulos weaves. Doesn't get the shot on Wes Werner as Brendan Sorrells now flips it out. Icing is waved off. Brett Bloor now in his own zone, the captain of the North York Renegades. He looks up ice. Tries to figure a way to find a lane to get the shot in on Wes Werner. Georgopoulos in the corner now. Blake Nada standing comfortably on the outside, and Georgopoulos is allowed to work. Brendan Sorrells in the far corner now. And Brett Bloor tries to block that. A little bit of pushing and shoving there as C.J. Nicholson takes the check and walks away. Hofford in behind Georgopoulos. Zach McDonough now. He dumps it out of the zone. Cabot McKenzie in his own zone now. McKenzie up across his own blue line. Blake Nada forcing him. And that's Brett Bloor in the far corner. The puck just jumps out. Dalton Monahan back to retrieve it. Quick tap across to the left wing. And the Renegades feed it up. Mark Menard tried to squeak one through. And a broken twig as Matt Matty comes on to replace Johnny Guerrero. A little disgusted Johnny was with the stick breaking and not really doing anything. As a clearing pass makes it all the way down to Purdy, he quickly tries to make the feed. Matt Matty with a big shot, a rising shot up and over Purdy.
Mark, sometimes as a player you just love a stick. And if you've had it for 3 or 4 games and you've scored a couple goals, it's disappointing when that stick breaks.
I'll bet.
I'm telling you.
There's a relationship built there, yeah. I got some sticks that I used to use back in '86. I still have them.
Mark, you're aging us.
Cabot McKenzie, quick shot on Wes Werner. He keeps it in play as the clock ticks away. 8 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in the third period. Kingsville Kings up 10-3 on the Renegades. Matt Matty chooses better to dump it in the corner instead of rippling one on the goaltender. Again, Havelka being pressured, dumps it into the corner. Here comes Christopher Thompson across his own blue line. Wearing number 33 tonight. Little backhand into the Kingsville Kings zone and softly pushes out. And now we're picking up just a little bit. Christopher Thompson throws a big check on Havelka, and we've got a hand pass.
Well, Mark, the big check from Thompson, he's a big guy, and his style of play is not what we're seeing right now. He likes to be in an aggressive, a bit grimy game. He likes to throw his big body around. He is wearing, it appears he's wearing Purdy's shirt tonight, a goaltender Purdy's shirt. And but Kingsville's going to expect that. If they're going to kind of play that sit back and wait, I'm toying with you game, they may draw out some frustrations from their opponent. So Kingsville's got to expect both sides there.
I think maybe what they're going to have to do is get across the blue line a couple of times and just make a couple of plays to keep it honest.
Yeah, for sure. They, they seem like they're only willing to play on one half of the ice now.
Yeah, they get to the blue line, they shoot it in, they don't cross the blue line. I don't think they've been in the Renegade zone much this second period. There's Janowski. stopped up at his blue line. Puck goes over Wes Werner's head off the end boards as the Kingsville Kings and Matt Matty make sure it gets out of the zone. They've got the wall of Kingsville up on the blue line right now as the Black Sweaters are taking control and playing keep away with the puck to make sure the Renegades don't get anywhere near Wes Werner. Yanofsky back to Burdov. Back over to Yanofsky. He looks, shovels it up and over, and here comes Niederbach, and he had a breakaway, and he hit the brakes at the blue line. The Renegades, again, quickly up, tried to pass it in, Gardeman. Now the game of keep away begins here in the Kingsville zone. Under 7 minutes to play, 10-3 the score, and the Kingsville Kings are satisfied to leave the score where it is.
Well, Coach Astolos has no doubt given them a game plan for this third period. You see Zach Zolkanik's there. When would you ever expect him to do it? He is like a bull going through a china shop when he's got that puck on his stick, Mark, and he just softly places it towards Purdy. Kingsville Kings is just willing to run down the clock here.
And a quick shot up and over the net by Brett Bluer and back out of the zone. Niederbach with a rising shot steps into the one just outside the blue line and calls for the change.
Well, there's that shot you wanted, Mark.
Yeah, but it was outside the blue line. Mark Menard up off and Hofford and up and over and into the netting.
You know, Mark, we need to congratulate, regardless of the outcome of this game, I think we need to congratulate the North York Renegades. Let's face it, any team that makes the playoff at any league in junior hockey or above should be congratulated for their effort throughout the year.
Nicholson wins the faceoff, dumps it back to Hofford. Hofford in his own zone. Up to Hojelov. Hojelov's pushed off the puck, and the puck squirts out. There's Mark Menard, shoved off the puck by C.J. Nicholson. Doesn't like that. He's going after Nicholson, and we're going to have it. Nicholson said, no, we're not going to do it. Mark Menard is going to get the call, and he's putting his gloves in his face, and Nicholson is just holding on. Mark Menard had the initial penalty, and now Nicholson said, I've had enough, get away from me, and pushes Mark Menard to the ice. I'd be surprised if Nicholson gets a penalty in all this. Mark Menard should probably get 2.
Yeah, you had to wonder when this was going to happen, Mark. Somewhere along the way, one of the North York Renegades was going to crack. There's Nicholson and now Menard. Nicholson, keeping his cool as best he could. You can only take so much as a player. Menard obviously wanted to get some of his frustrations out. It looks at this point being his last game of this junior hockey season. Good job from C.J. Nicholson, who wants to play in the second round of the playoffs, for holding his, keeping his cool, holding his temper in. He wants to dress in the next game, round 2.
We could see Mark Menard chirping C.J. Nicholson, and Nicholson turned around and said, no, I'm not doing it. And then he finally just pushed him away. Here's Dan Leach working in the Renegade zone. The first time they've been in the zone, and all 5 Kingsville Sweaters are down in the Renegade zone. They're working on the power play. Back to Borner.
Well, yeah, Mark, here in this, sorry to interrupt you, Mark,
Nope.
but in this case, this is where Kingsville does have to play. If they don't accept the power play and get down there and work towards scoring a goal, then it truly does look like a mockery of the situation, and nobody involved in hockey wants to see that.
Dan Leach loses that faceoff to Spencer Horner, and Horner, he gets chopped in the face by Kyle Borner, and we got a delayed penalty coming up to the Kingsville Kings as Wes Werner gets it, and Borner is going to make his way to the penalty box. An errant stick up into the face of Spencer Horner.
Yeah, Kyle Borner, another American-born player from Walled Lake, Michigan. No doubt it happened right in front of us, didn't it, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
We saw that stick come up and clip Horner in the face. Horner was the one who got the 3rd North York Renegades goal at the end of the second period. A great shot to beat Jan Pesek. So now we found yourself with some 4-on-4.
4-on-4 hockey is going to change things up just a little bit, as both teams are going to be forced to play just a little bit more. And over to Dan Leach. Dan Leach in, up and over, hits the brakes on the blue line, and now we're at even strength, and the Kingsville Kings drop back to the 3-man trap and 1-man in. As Wes Werner sees the puck skirting through the blue ice, and Wes Werner drops the glove on that for a face-off to his left. Mike McInnes in to drop the puck as Brett Bluer steps in for the North York Renegades. Blake Nada in for the Kingsville Kings. And Brett Bluer shoves the puck ahead, and Lucas Havelka, our player to watch, the WeTV player to watch, has the puck. Lucas Havelka tries to hit Janowski with the puck, and they're charged with icing on that particular play. So we'll have a face-off once again to the left of Wes Werner.
Yeah, Mark, just to say, we look at the North, there's Coach Ramsey right there and his bunch, and we just want to congratulate them on an outstanding season. Making the playoffs is no easy feat for any league, any grouping. And, it's unfortunate they're out after the first round, but that's the way playoffs go, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's a breakdown, and we find ourselves at the end of tonight with just 4 teams left in the Southern Division.
Blake Nada across the line. He's being shoved off the puck. Looking for a little more. Jonathan Janowski there pushing his way around. Connor Kearney up and over, wide of the net. Puck drops in behind, and Blake Nada just shovels it out of the zone. He quickly goes for a change. Here comes Johnny Guerrero with a new twig back on the ice. Connor Kearney in. Tries to make the pass out front. He's pushed off the puck there by Havelka. And Brendan Sorrells. Johnny Guerrero in there now. Here's Brett Bluer working, tapping on the stick on the ice as the Renegades are now on the power play. Dalton Monahan looking for it. Brett Bluer squirting around through the slot. They get a whack at it. Wes Werner saying he got chopped. They think the puck might have made it into the net, but we're going to see what the call is. There's the puck outside the net. Wes Werner was looking at the referee making a complaint that some extracurricular stick work was being done there, and no goal is being called. Face-off. Jesse Georgopoulos in there to take the face-off for the Renegades. Connor Shipton tries to keep it in. It hops over his stick and out into the Renegade zone. Johnny Guerrero on the blue line. There's Georgopoulos. It hops, but he grabs the puck one more time. As he hit the Kingsville blue line, Matt Matty playing spoiler in there. Kyle Borner. Matt Matty now, as both penalties have expired. Matt Matty just throws a short hopper in. And the Renegades are back to retrieve. 2:55 to play here in the third period. The Kingsville Kings are up 10-3. 5-on-5 hockey one more time. A little soft check there is thrown on Janowski as the puck is dumped in. Evan Purdy behind his own net. Georgopoulos one more time. Number 77, the WeTV player to watch for the North York Renegades, and he steps into David Vosterek. If that would have been basketball, that would have been ugly. And now we got some fisticuffs going on, and Vosterek was just the man that stood him up, and he's making sure that nothing happens to him.
Well, Mark, let's face it, the Kingsville Kings have everything to play for, as we all know, and the North York Renegades, really, they're living free and easy, if I could say that, in terms of a hockey sense. In terms of North York, it doesn't matter what they do at this point, and fights or no fights or whatever, they could, they're going home in the bus, and their season looks like it's going to be over. But Kingsville Kings really have to stay disciplined, hold themselves tight if they want to find themselves playing in the next game. We look at the big man Thompson.
He just got tossed, got a misconduct penalty, and he's saying, so what? But that's okay. So they're pointing for him to make his way to the dressing room, and he's not worried about it too much at all. As the Kingsville Kings assemble in front of their net, Gary Estalos is just reminding them of what the game plan is to make sure that you do what you do.
Yeah, this is all, if we look at the Kingsville bench and Coach Estalos, give him credit for coming out and playing a controlled game in the third period. Really didn't want to make a mockery of the game, of course, but at the same time, you don't want to run up the score on the team either. So his whole mandate here was to put his players in a position to be available for their next playoff game. And to their credit, they've done just that. And again, despite what we just saw on the screen, Coach Ramsey and his team, deserve some credit for being a playoff team. But unfortunately, Mark, it looks like their season's going to be over in about 2 minutes.
Well, referee St. Jules is making sure that the Renegades have a player go in the box. That's number 13, Johnny Rizza, as the Renegades are now on the PK with a face-off in their zone. Janowski, Simmons, Leach, McDonough, and Hofford are the 5 players for the Kingsville Kings as they step it up. McDonough works his way in down low. Janowski back to McDonough. McDonough cycling. Gets a pass over to Hofford. Hofford looks. Quick shot in. Yanofsky one more time with the puck. Yanofsky keeping it on the half wall. Yanofsky steps into the high slot. Soft pass over to Hofford. Back to Yanofsky for the give and go. Back to Hofford one more time. He winds. Pass over to McDonough. McDonough tries to get it over to Yanofsky and is unable to. Hofford blocks it down at the blue line. McDonough one more time. He's got a lane. He steps in, a little backhand, tries to get in past Purdy, and Purdy makes the save.
Horner's got to make sure that puck goes 200 feet. He had a great shot for goal to end the second period, but he struggled to clear that puck out past the Kingsville defenseman there. That's the little things, Mark, that North York has not been able to do tonight, which is quite honestly led to their, in part led to their loss here.
5-on-3 for the Kingsville Kings as Johnny Guerrero works in the Renegade zone. Matt Matty now with the puck. Matt Matty winds. Purdy makes the save, wasn't sure where it was, went off his shoulder and stayed high. Matt Matty once again. Back to Blake Nada. Nada with a stop pass. Quick shot. Deflected out front. Purdy isn't sure where it is. He's still looking for it. Blake Nada. Comes up the middle. And we've got a penalty, an elbowing penalty to the Kingsville Kings.
Yeah, it looked like Sorrells is going to go off there. The referee took exception to the way he was manhandling the North York defenseman in front of the net. There's no referee, no doubt thinking there's no need to play like that at this point of the game. And this gives North York really a little breath, a little chance to breathe this late in the game.
4-on-3 action for the Kingsville Kings with just over a minute to play as they skate out of their zone. That's Daniel Burdov. Looking for Johnny Guerrero. Matt Matty gets into the zone. He gets upended, didn't like what happened, but that's okay. We'll take that as Burdov comes into the zone. Big check being thrown there by the Renegades as Matt Matty takes it off. Just under a minute to play. A little whiff on there. Matt Matty tries to get it up, and it's kept into the zone by Blake Nada. Blake Nada throws a stutter step, gets it over to Johnny Guerrero. Back to Nada. 4-on-3 for the Kingsville Kings. That's Daniel Burdov now. He steps in, tries to make the pass. It's knocked down. Blake Nada. A little bit of give and go. Johnny Guerrero tries to stuff one in short side. It goes wide and into the corner. Two players about to come out of the box for the North York Renegades. It'll be 5-on-4 really quickly. And just as the penalties expire, Evan Purdy down to make the save. So we've got 27 seconds of 5-on-4 hockey for the North York Renegades with a face-off in their zone.
And as we typically do, Mark, at the end of this hockey game, 28 seconds, we'll be announcing our 3 stars, and you'll be happy to know, to celebrate Hockey Day in America, our 3 stars will have just a slightly American slant to them.
How did I know that was going to happen?
So we hope our WeTV viewers stick around for that.
Dan Leach in there. Jonathan Yanofsky pushing his way around as the clock ticks down. Just over 25 seconds to go as the Renegades break out of the zone. There's Cabot McKenzie into the Kingsville zone, pushed off the puck by Yanofsky. A quick shot out front, and they're unable to control as Vosterik quickly gets it up to Yanofsky. Yanofsky winds, shoots as Purdy makes a save. Dan Leach one last time tries to go to the far corner and is unable to. Yanofsky, the last shot. Purdy makes the save, and the Renegades' season runs out on them as the Kingsville Kings make short work of the North York Renegades, and they've got something to celebrate, as do the fans here at Kingsville Arena. They've watched their team completely disassemble the North York Renegades.
Yeah, what a series, Mark. 3 games sweep, a 3-game sweep for the Kingsville Kings in the first round in the Greater Metro Hockey League playoffs. Congratulations to them, but also a lot of credit for making the playoffs to the North York Renegades. Great job on them. As we watch these 2 good hockey teams celebrate this playoff series with a handshake, let's get to our 3 stars.
And who do you have, Steve?
With the 3rd star of the game from St. Charles, Missouri, Matt Matty.
Matt Matty had a great game, digging hard always, and you always expect some great things from Matt Matty.
Yeah, 1 goal and 1 assist for Matt. With our 2nd star of the game, we'd like to congratulate from Clawson, Michigan, Dan Leach.
Oh, beauty goal where he stuffed that in the short side. He went up there on a beautiful, beautiful pass, and he was there doing all the right things.
Got 2 goals and 1 assist tonight for Dan Leach. And our 1st star of the game, I know, Mark, you like this young man, so do I, from Phoenix, Arizona. Congratulations to Marvin Simmons. What a night tonight.
A goal and 3 assists, 4 points. He had 2 goals and an assist last night. So he's really getting the ice time for the Kingsville Kings, and we want to congratulate Marvin Simmons on the first star of tonight's game.
So as the Kingsville Kings salute their crowd and win in a sweep this first round of the Greater Metro Hockey League playoffs, Mark, where do we find ourselves now?
Well, we're waiting on the outcome of the Niagara Whalers and the Kamoka Dragons. They're playing right now. The game is about 40 minutes old, and we have a score. If the Game 4 is necessary there, it will be tomorrow between the Niagara Whalers and the Kamoka Dragons. So we're waiting for the outcome of that, but the Niagara Whalers are up 2-0 on the Kamoka Dragons right now. So we TV viewers are going to have to log on to the GMHL website to find out what's going on with that, to find out, or come on to the WeTV website. We'll try and keep all the stats up to date as best we can. 2 other series in the GMHL are finished by now. Tottenham has moved on. They are the other big team to watch in the other division, and Perry Sound has undone Sagan, and they're finished there. So a couple of surprises. Bradford, the 2 Bradford teams are losing to Oshawa and Meaford in the other divisions, and we're going to have to keep an eye on those to see how those shake down, because we might be seeing them as we move further into the playoffs. But lots more to talk about at future broadcasts. We're really happy that you decided to stick around with us. There's your final score. The Kingsville Kings over the North York Renegades, 10-3, series win, 3-0. I'm Mark Knight, Steve Pronger, and everybody here at WeTV. We're glad you're aboard, and we're going to see you next round on WeTV. Good night.